Welcome to Raidho, everybody. Here we produce some of the best loudspeakers in Denmark. Now I'd like to show you our production facility and how it's all created. Follow me, guys. Raidho was founded in 2001, but the owner of Raidho is Dantax, and Dantax was actually founded in 1969. And since then, we have acquired and sold 28 brands in hi-fi. And since then, we have been producing loudspeakers, and many of them in-house, amongst others, the legendary loudspeaker manufacturer Scansonic, which Dantax actually owned from 1977 to 1988. And Raidho Acoustics is our pinnacle, with where we're going back to the roots of producing high-end loudspeakers, and we design and build the most components ourselves. So one question we get a lot is that why are there so many loudspeaker manufacturers in Denmark? And actually it is because that it was a Dane that invented the first dynamic drive unit that we know today and is used in so many loudspeakers around the world. In 1918 was actually Peter Jensen who invented this Danish drive unit, and which is now implemented in thousands and thousands of loudspeakers and phones and wherever you can hear music. So that has spawned a major industry in Denmark, also into hearing aids. Back in the 70s and 80s, there was produced a lot of loudspeakers under the Dantax name. These were a lot more mainstream, a lot more affordable. The market was completely different. Today we have high-end production, very much handcrafted involved at a very high level.
Right now we are actually finishing up our statement speaker, the TD 3.10. And this is a very important speaker for us because it's a no compromise. And as I told, it's a statement. It's really a speaker we have put a lot of attention into. And when we're moving in here, we can see this is a walnut. A very nice walnut veneer, and it's in high gloss finish. You can see it's mirroring everything. And the new thing about that is it has 10-inch drivers compared to our 8-inch drivers we have in the TD 3.8. So this is it's a big brother compared to the TD 3.8. In the TD series, which is our biggest or most expensive series, of course, there is also the drivers. The drivers is quite a difference also. We are producing the drivers here ourselves. About the drivers, we are not making big production batches. It's also in batches, as you see here. This is the new driver for the 10-inch woofers.
And this one is a 10-inch edition of it. This is probably one of the most expensive drive units to produce currently. One of the reasons that we have a diamond coating on top on 3 other coatings. We have first the aluminum base, then we have a ceramic coating, a tantale coating, and then the diamond-like carbon coating. So this diamond-like carbon layer is created by a magnetron sputtering process in Aarhus by the Technological Institute. Here we send the standard ceramic drivers, and the machine then fires atoms of diamond on this membrane, which is then created in a process that takes 12 hours. And these coatings have different properties. The properties balances each other out, so we have extremely high breakoff points of the membrane, and the membrane in the end is then very stiff, very rigid, and have great inner damping at the same time.
Just here we can see the inner cores for the engine. It's a very nice piece of iron here, and the inner core, and that's also the 2 parts, the magnets. As you can see, will be in the gap here. as you was showing on the other piece. Nice stuff. You can see here they are rounded on this side. And the spider ring here is also very narrow. Normally this is a big area that is obstructing the air pushing back and forth when the membrane is moving. On this one, it's eliminated quite a lot. You will see, and here we see a finished driver with the copper ring. And that's ready for mounting the arms. We just put this in a vise here, like that. And then we have the tools here to space out the inner core. And we have the magnets here. They're very strong. Don't take your mobile phone near these things here. It will be very strange. This is the N52 magnets. 4 pieces inside, as we can see here. If we go to the membrane and rubber surround, it's actually made here in this box here. And what we have, Hans is now making the gluing process of, now he's preparing the glue for the rubber surround. And as you can see, it's not everybody that can do that. Somebody can do it that have the patience and the skills to do it so precisely. And from there, now the glue is on. Now we let it dry for a couple of minutes. In the meantime, this is the rubber surround that goes around it. It's very soft and it's hard to control that. So we have made a fixture, as you can see over there. This one here is lying inside. Now I cannot remove the ring because Hans had centered inside, but it's lying here. And you need to put glue on this edge here, all the way around. You do it here and turn it around. Put the glue on, let it dry, and then take this one, put it over. We will see that in a short time. And we have that, of course, for every different models. This is an 8-inch driver he's doing right now. This is putting the glue on the rubber surround. And that rubber surround is very thin and it reacts very quickly on the... you get used to it, but it's very important that this is done in a correct manner. There we go. And this is the most time-consuming when we are making membranes. Be sure that the rubber surround is full of glue completely out to the edge. Now we are pressing the rubber surround on it. Now we are in a process where Hans will install the spider ring on the voice coil. And we have a fixture, so we know it is the right height on the voice coil. And it will be glued with PU glue and let it stay overnight. Here we can see the PU glue is actually kind of foamy, but it's very hard. Cannot, it's just sitting there. But it actually, so we have to let it stay overnight. This is handmade, and that's a big difference here from what we are doing and many other speaker productions. Is we are making every step by hand. Now we have glue cleaning the gluing area, and now we will control how to position the voice coil on the membrane, and we have a special fixture for that. Then he knows exactly where to lay the glue, and he do that now. Here we go. Just an even amount of glue. One turn.
Okay. Prøv at tage et billede her.
And now he removed the glue that is left over. Now he removed it from the fixture slowly. And he checked the alignment of the voice coil. Yeah, that was a short introducing how we are making the membranes, spider rings attachment and the rubber surround attachment. And now when it's glued tomorrow, we are able to put it in the basket, and then we have a finished driver. They actually finish it. This is what we do. This is a rubber surround that is glued on. Now we will go on with the tweeter.
Every Raidho speaker is known for its ribbon tweeter. And the foil is only 0.02 grams, so it's extremely lightweight. Actually, it has around 50 times less mass than a conventional dome tweeter because the voice coil is inside the ribbon foil. So it's extremely transparent, very detailed, but at the same time sounds very musical and natural. And that's the real trick with this tweeter.
Here we have our tweeters. That's a very it's a very important part of our speakers because they are very well known for having a very, very good tweeter inside. And this again, the tweeter is actually a very solid, simple construction. What we can see here is that we have in the cheaper, you can see here there's a difference in thickness. And for the X series we have this one. It actually had nearly the same sound production, but with the more expensive TD series we have increased the iron, and we also increased the strength of the magnet. And that's basically the difference. And if you go up in strength in magnet, you also need to increase the iron. And that's what we did, and we gain about 3 dB sensitivity gain in the TD series. Also we have, as you can see, that is chamfered. This is actually a simple construction. I will just try to make it very quick. And as you can see, there's a red line here. That tells me the polarity of the magnet. So this one, when it stands in the middle, has to go down to the iron here. And it's very strong. So on here. And then we have the other one. It has to go the other way. It has to facing up. Come on. This is basically the construction of the Corsi. This is for the terminals, and we have them here. So, what we are doing now, we add more iron again. We have some metal bars. So, now it's finished with all the magnets and the iron. It's pretty heavy. So, we need some dampening material inside. Start with this one here. On the surface. So this is actually how it looks behind the membrane. So, and this is a membrane you see here. It's made on aluminum pin foil, and it's treated with acid to remove the area between the between all these lines of aluminum. So it's, and we actually look here out of the window here to see if there are any broken lines or anything that looks abnormal. No, it looks fine. And now we have the terminals here, gold plated, 24 karat gold to eliminate corrosion. Put it on. And here comes the big issue. I have to align with the terminals and they don't get in conflict with the other. So now I will make a good contact here with the glue underneath. Now the real membrane is exposed. And it's very soft. It's very thin. And now the most tricky part comes. It is to get this one on it. We want it to actually to sit like with the crosses as a fixed point for the holes. And you only have one shot. If this touch and adheres to the surface, there's no return. So this has to be perfect first time. Down. I'll get this one up right first. Just be sure that everything is nice and tight. So, now it's ready for assembly on the baffle. Ready to be installed on the baffle. As you can see here, the membrane is not straight. It's flexing. And that's not what we want it to be. We want it to be flat and even. But that's the process I will show now. Now we attach it to the baffle. Again, so now I just want to show the last finishing step. And we can see here, I have to adjust so there's even, I can move it here back and forth and be sure that it's sitting right. It looks pretty decent there. But still you can see the membrane is flexing underneath. And now I will tighten the screws and I might even flex more. And now you can see now it's really flexed. And that's impossible to eliminate in the building stage. So now we need to take that away. That's the last step. I think we are very close now. And you will see it's just stretch out slowly after the heat disappears. As a last step, I stole my wife's nail. She don't know it. And just put it on here, just to be sure that the screws is very important that they will not get loose. That's a finished treater. Ready for installment. Actually, just to finish off the crossovers, this is actually a finished part and it is quite heavy. It weighs about 8 to 10 kilo. So it's a really, really big one.
Now the heart of any loudspeaker is the crossover. And we are especially proud of our crossovers at Raidho Acoustics. For one, we use top-notch Mundorf components and we mount them the only way we think is right, which is hardwired point to point. And as you can see, we use Norse technology cables inside the crossover itself. Now that's the level of attention we like here at Raidho Acoustics.
And now we can ask the customer to get up the big box because now his speaker is finished. We need to go into the testing room. When this final assembly is done, there we go. And X2.6 is ready. Den tager sig ud. Exactly 1 meter. That's the industrial standard. Mor! Now we are making the sine wave test, and as you can see, the membrane are moving quite a lot. It's because we are running actually now about 22 hertz. We can go down to 10. This is 10 hertz. And what we do here, we go physically, but we are actually listening for dirt inside the membrane or the gap between the coil and the driver. And we also looking for or hearing that the lids is touching the back side of the membrane. And also sometimes air can disappearing through screw holes or whatever. And it's very easy to hear that when you get used to it. Also another very important thing we're looking after is if the membrane on the treater is moving along with the sine wave, and it has to stand absolutely still, which indicate that chamber is sealed completely. And that's very important. Sometimes we see it's moving and then we have to get it out and seal the chamber again. And that's the thing that can be possible when you're making things by hand and it's a human being doing the work. Now we are moving up in the spectra and slowly. It could be sometimes, or rarely, that wires are touching or vibrating inside and making noise. And we're doing that up to 20 kilohertz. Go all the way through slowly, and if you hear something. So that's a sine wave test. Now we're moving up to the sound.
Customers describe the Raidho Acoustics sound as very transparent, dynamic and detailed. But at the same time, it is extremely musical. So you get all the details in the world, and it sounds very musical and enjoyable at the same time. Below the TD series at Raidho Acoustics, we have the X series. The X stands for extremely value for the price. Now, this is not a cheap speaker in any regard, but it is still significantly less expensive than a TD6. The X 2.6 is 21,000 euros a pair. And this have the same technology, but at a slightly lower level. Here we have a aluminum membrane with ceramic coating for high damping and stiffness. And we have the ribbon tweeter again. The drive unit itself looks like this. This is a 5¼ inch drive unit. And on the back side, we have the motor system. The magnets are N52 neodymium magnet, the strongest available. And it is very highly ventilated because a drive unit makes as much sound this way as it does that way. Therefore, this one has to be as aerodynamically as possible. The sister brand of Raidho Acoustics is Scansonic. And we have the M series with a ribbon tweeter, which gives a very detailed and natural sound. And on the floor models, we have 2 passive radiators giving extra bass heft and a very clean and dynamic bass. We have fiberglass drive units in a sandwich configuration. Price point for this one is 2,600 euros a pair. For the MB series, we step up the game with carbon drive units and again an improved ribbon tweeter. This one is around 10,000 euros a pair. And the top of the line is the Scansonic Q series, which are also called the mini Raidho speakers. And here you have further improved drive units and crossover, along with a very attractive cabinet design. I will now take you to our warehouse, where you can see we have a lot of cabinets coming in. All of them are in flight cases to offer the best possible protection for the products. This is a standard part of our Raidho component these days. And in the warehouse, we have at any given time more than 3,000 finished speakers and even more cabinets and components to create loudspeakers.
Yeah, that was the finishing demonstration of the products here we are making in Raidho. This is a small window you see today, but hopefully this is getting a clue of what we are doing here.
Thank you.